What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. As always, want to remind you guys that if you want to donate to this channel, if you want to show love to this channel, you can do so in the link provided in the description box. Wow. The Toronto Raptors came into Golden State, came into Oracle Arena, came into Oakland tonight, and eked out a 114 to 110 victory to win their first ever NBA championship. You know, despite the fact that you had some fans out there, a lot of Raptor fans that showed some disgusting behavior, very disgusting behavior. I know that for the real fans of the Toronto Raptors and for the Raptors organization, the players, this has to be an unbelievable feeling. And what a comeback season for Kawhi Leonard. All right. This was a tremendous comeback season. When you think about all that went down last season for him in the San Antonio Spurs organization, him playing in only 9 out of the 82 games, and many people questioning his heart, his dedication to the sport, calling him a prima donna, all these different things. Skip Bayless leading the charge for that, you know what I'm saying? And I know somewhere Skip Bayless is sick right now. Skip Bayless is absolutely sick right now, coming up with some type of talking point to, he's coming up with some talking points right now to feed his bullshit narrative. But that shit is moot tonight. That's a moot point. Skip Bayless is irrelevant. He don't know shit about basketball. Really, to be honest with you, he don't know shit about sports in general. He's just a fucking troll. But back to this game, man. The Toronto Raptors won 114 to 110. And I thought that coming into tonight, for the Raptors to win, they would have to match the intensity that the Golden State Warriors were going to show in this game. All right, the Golden State Warriors, whether they have Kevin Durant or not, they are a championship caliber team. And I thought the Toronto Raptors would have to match that. And they did. Another thing that the Raptors did tonight, two things they did. They hit their perimeter outside shots, their three-pointers. Whenever they hit their three-point shots, generally speaking, the Raptors win. I don't know their exact winning percentage, but whenever they shoot, in my opinion, 35% or better from beyond the arc as a team, they have to have a tremendous record. Fred VanVleet is money, man. Fred VanVleet might be a role player, but he is money. You know what I'm saying? There's certain guys, when the pressure is on, that you trust. On this team, when the pressure is on, consistently, I trust only two guys. That is, of course, Kawhi Leonard, and I do trust Fred VanVleet. Kyle Lowry, he redeemed himself tonight. Okay, Kyle Lowry redeemed himself tonight. I think he had, let me see, I think it was 26 points and 9 assists. But he had an incredible first quarter. I think he scored like 17 points or something like that in the first quarter. Because you know Kyle Lowry is extra motivated to come out and play well tonight based on the criticism that he probably was facing after Game 5. I didn't even know that Draymond Green had partially blocked his potential game-winning jumper or series-winning and championship-winning jumper. I thought he just shot the bitch off the backboard. But he was extra motivated to play well tonight, and for the most part, he had a great game. And they wouldn't have won without Kyle Lowry's performance. He had a tough shot. I think it was a tough fall-away jumper that bounced in late in the game. I'm trying to just go through the players, man. Serge Ibaka had a tremendous series, man. Serge Ibaka looked like the Oklahoma City Thunder version of himself. in this series, man. Excellent game, 15 points, 3 rebounds, but an overall excellent performance. Um, Pascal Siakam had a great game, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Kawhi Leonard did not have, by his standards, a great game, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. A lot of that had to do with the unbelievable defense that the Golden State Warriors have played against him, did play against him in his finals. But overall, Kawhi Leonard has been unbelievable throughout this playoffs. And I think throughout this playoffs, he's averaged over 30 points per game. I think in this series, he averaged 26 points, over 26 points per game. And he was, I just saw moments ago, named the 2019 NBA Finals MVP. And of course, he becomes only the third player in the history of NBA behind only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron James to win Finals MVP with two different ball clubs. I do have to call out one guy, man, a couple of guys that I think choked for the most part throughout this series and almost cost Toronto Raptors this game. And yeah, I do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't do it, but I will do it. Danny Green, what the fuck, man? You almost threw the fucking game away. You know what I'm saying? I just be watching Danny Green out there sometimes, man. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the way he's built and shit, man. But I don't know. It's just something about Danny Green that pisses me off sometimes. I do remember, when he's hot, he's hot. You know what I'm saying? When he's hot, he's hot. Excuse me. It's a little late. When he's hot from outside, he's hot. I remember him having that tremendous 2014 NBA Finals when he was with the Spurs. All right. But he's been shitty for the most part throughout this entire playoff run. And I noticed that on defense sometimes, Danny Green to me doesn't give. Maybe he's awkward. Maybe what I'm saying I don't know. But sometimes it just seems like on defense he doesn't give his all. Sometimes what I'm saying. I don't know. But Marcus Gasol out was I don't know, man. Marcus Gasol he's to the point where I think he's near the end of his career or whatever. They're coming down with a cold too. But Marcus Gasol, I don't even know what his numbers were. Let me see. 3 points. Yeah. 3 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. There were moments, and especially in the second half of this game, where Marcus Gasol was obviously not looking to shoot. He didn't want to be the GOAT. He didn't have to deal with the pressure. And there were certain times where he had the advantage. He had the matchup advantage, and he just refused to shoot the ball. And I don't understand it, man. Whatever. There's some dudes that can play under pressure and thrive under pressure, and there are some guys who just can't. And Marcus Gasol, unless he's rolling, he's not one of those guys. If he's rolling offensively, he'll take the shot. If he's not, he'll shy away from taking the shot. That's how he is. You know, but that's why this team went and got Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard is one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if Kawhi Leonard's missed 5 or 6 shots in a row. He's going to keep taking the shots because he feel like he's going to make his next 5 or 6 shots in a row. You know what I'm saying? So that's that with them. For the Golden State Warriors, you got to tip your head off to them, man. You know what I'm saying? With all the disadvantages that they've had throughout this playoff run, Kevon Looney, of course, Kevin Durant. Okay, Kevin Durant gave them that Willis Reed-like performance in Game 5. If it wasn't for Kevin Durant, the Warriors would have even had that Game 6. And, of course, tonight, they lost Klay Thompson in the third quarter with that apparent knee injury. But he was cooking them. If it wasn't for that knee injury, I think the Warriors would have won this game and they would have forced a Game 7. I'm going to be honest with that. If Klay Thompson not go up with that knee injury, he had 30 points, I think on only 12 shots. So I think it was 8 or 12 from the field. That's what you call rolling. And that's why I've always said, and you can check the record with my videos, even though statistically Steph Curry is a better shooter than Klay Thompson. Statistically, not by much, but statistically, he's a better shooter. That's why I've always said when it comes to the playoffs, when it comes to elimination games, it's Klay Thompson that strikes fear in my heart more than Stephen Curry. This game is a microcosm of what I always said about that. I've always stated that Klay Thompson is the guy that I fear the most. Whenever I'm rooting against the Warriors, personally, he's the guy that makes me scared when he shoots. And when he gets rolling, he's the best shooter in the history of the NBA. When he gets rolling. Draymond Green had a dominant triple-double tonight. Dominant triple-double. 11 points, 19 rebounds, 13 assists. I hope nobody lambasts him for calling that timeout because even though he didn't have any timeouts, because if he doesn't do that, the game is over. Okay? He extended the game doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it was a gamble. It might have been instinctual for him to do that, but it was a gamble. It extended the game and it gave the Warriors a sliver of a chance of still winning. You know what I'm saying? But Draymond Green played big for them in the game 6. Draymond Green had a resurgent playoffs. Draymond Green had a dominant um, performance and a dominant 2019 NBA Finals. You know what I'm saying? So I tip my hat off to him. Steph Curry, look, as much as Steph Curry's been harassed throughout the playoffs and particularly in this series with the Raptors playing the box and one specifically to slow him down. Curry had a decent game, but not a great game. 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists. In this series, Curry, I don't know the exact numbers as far as his average. He did have that 47-point game, but this series kind of will feed into the narrative that you hear from certain people, in particular uh, Skip Bayless, that Curry doesn't quite play to the superstar expectations people have of him. He did miss that potential game winner with how much time was left? Like, uh, how much time was left when he took that shot after Danny Green threw the ball away? I think it was like 9.6 seconds left. So I don't know what time it was when he shot the ball. Maybe like 6 seconds or something like that. But he had a reasonably good look, and he missed it. He missed it pretty badly, actually. Um, but you know, if it wasn't for Steph Curry hitting critical shots throughout this series, the Raptors would have won this probably in a sweep. Okay. Curry is a great player, but he's not the type of player that you can just give the ball to like a Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? Like a LeBron James to an extent, uh, like a Michael Jordan, like a Kobe Bryant. You can't give Curry the ball and just say, hey, get us a basket. Hey, we need a bucket. You know, he's more of a catch and shoot type player. Though he can create his own shot, he's more of a catch and shoot guy. So that's always going to limit Curry a little bit as being a dominant offensive player. He is a dominant offensive player, but he's not the type of guy that can create his own shot at will. All right, so trying to see anybody else I want to give a shout out to. Andre Iguodala, who turned back the clock in this series, 22 points to go along with 2 rebounds. DeMarcus Cousins, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He did miss some big free throws down the stretch in this game. And Kevon Looney, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Sean Livingston, 6 points, hit some big buckets. Sean Livingston, I think, may have played in his last NBA game. And that's pretty much it, man. I know that Warriors fans are going to cry about injuries. And normally I would be a little bit more sympathetic with your plight. But I'm going to tell you something. I have a long memory. I have a long memory. And I remember in 2015 when you guys were playing the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron didn't have Kyrie Irving, nor did he have Kevin Love. All right? And you got to remember, Kevin Love, before he came to Cleveland, Kevin Love was averaging 26, 12, 13 with the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right? And Kyrie Irving has been doing his thing since day one coming in the NBA. And you didn't have neither of those guys. And whether you like LeBron James or not, I'm fair. LeBron James was putting on an offensive clinic, but he wore down throughout that series trying to do everything by himself. And at one point in time, if it wasn't, LeBron James single-handedly had Cleveland up 2-1. And I remember the Warriors won in 6 games, in game 6. And I remember Warrior fans coming to my channel and other people's videos talking shit. LeBron ain't shit. We would have beaten this team anyway. That shit don't matter. Injuries are part of the game. I remember all of that shit. All of that shit. So, to me, I don't want to say this was karma because Kevin Durant had nothing to do with that. But there's been other situations where you even heard the commentator, Mike Breen, say something about that. That the Warriors have benefited from injuries throughout their playoff run. There have been teams that they played in the playoffs that were depleted. You know what I'm saying? So this was a little taste of this was karma in a sense. Injuries happen. So I don't want to hear nothing about the injuries. Yeah, we all know if Kevin Durant was playing this series, if Klay Thompson was healthy, the outcome most likely would have been different. But we don't know that for sure, but most likely it would have been. But injuries happen. Now you know what it feels like. Now you know what it feels like. You know? But basketball's come full circle, man. Probably heard the commissioner say this. The first game in NBA history was played in Toronto. I believe it was the Toronto Huskies. I think that was the franchise. And they might have been playing the New York Knickerbockers, as they were called back then. I think that's what the game was, I think. And the first shot in the history of the NBA was made by, I think the name of the guy was Ozzie Sheckman. Ozzie Sheckman passed away a couple of years ago. I think he was 95 years old. But Toronto has always had a huge impact as far as the history of the NBA. I remember when they first got their first franchise, I think it was back in 1994, and they're the lone surviving franchise in Canada. And for the first time in the history of the NBA, an NBA champion will live outside of the continental United States. And you can't take anything from Kawhi Leonard, man. First and foremost, you can't take anything away from him. You know what I'm saying? What this young man was able to accomplish this season, what the Raptors was able to do, constantly fighting adversity throughout the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? It was remarkable. So, shout out to the Toronto Raptors on winning the championship. And even though I think some of those fans don't deserve a championship, you know what I'm saying, with the disgusting display that they showed, with the way they acted towards Steph Curry's parents, some of the disgusting comments made toward Kevin Durant when he tore his Achilles tendon. You know what I'm saying? This championship is not deserving upon you guys, man. But the rest of you fans out there that are real Raptors fans, enjoy this, all right? I know what's also going to come is now you're going to have a flood, even more greater flood of fake Raptors fans. And Rob Brokaw just called me just a couple minutes ago and said that he's going to have a report about this tomorrow. And he said that he's all of a sudden he said he's seeing these new reports, about fake Raptor fans just appearing out of nowhere. And he said he's going to do a story uh, about that tomorrow. He said he's going to interrupt some random movie that that you're going to be watching on YouTube, and he's going to do a report about that. Now, the Golden State Warriors, you got to wonder about what they're going to do next year. Now, what's coming up with this team? Um, it's the last game they're playing in Oracle. They're playing a new arena. I even wonder if they're going to still be called the Golden State Warriors. I guess they're going to still have the same name, but essentially they're going to play most of next season without Kevin Durant. I was looking at the list of players, notable players that have suffered Achilles tendon injuries, and most of them missed between 8 to 10 months. So if that's the case, you can't really expect Kevin Durant back until what? Sometime, I'm just guessing on top of my head, sometime in next February, maybe by the All-Star break. Maybe Kevin Durant will be back. And then even when he comes back then, you got to wonder how long it's going to take him to psychologically be comfortable playing, in a game. How will it affect him? Dominique Wilkins was able to overcome that fear instantly. Some guys, it stayed in the back of their head. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's Dominique Wilkins. Not everybody is Paul George. Some people are more like Gordon Hayward, where I think what's holding Gordon Hayward back is the fact that he sucks. He's still the same player. I think it's psychologically. I think Gordon Hayward is afraid to be more aggressive out there. That's just my theory. Now, I'm not comparing Gordon Hayward to Kevin Durant, but I'm just saying you wonder what type of player Kevin Durant's going to be after he comes back from his injury. I think he's going to be a very, very, very exceptional player. I'm just curious as whether he's still going to be at that same level. You know what I'm saying? But that's it, man. That's all I got to say, man. I tried to get everything out in this video. Congratulations to the Toronto Raptors. Congratulations to Kawhi Leonard. And much respect to the Golden State Warriors, man. You guys had an unbelievable series, man. You showed your championship medal. And also, last but not least, anybody that ever even insinuated this team is better without Kevin Durant, you're a fucking idiot.